What's up, everybody? Welcome to Broad Horizons Podcast. I'm Chantel Gillette.
I'm James Peterson. What's up, everyone?
Today we just gonna give y'all a little bit on some self-awareness, how to maneuver different things, different experiences in life. So let's go ahead and just kick it right off. First thing, let's start with a word, right? One word that describes your week. What's one word that you can give that describes your week this week?
Complicated. I'm gonna be honest. It was a little complicated. Starting off this week, it was a bit bumpy. Not a lot of sleep, losing hours of sleep. I'm working two jobs, and then I got the music on the side. And then towards the middle of the week, it kind of got, how do I say it? It just went steady. It was like it was a grace period where it was just a little peaceful, and everything. I got out, went on a walk in the park, and everything. It was really nice. And then this weekend really picked up. Things turned around. So it was complicated, but overall it was a good week.
Okay, so I know, just speaking of kind of like what you said, I know you started off kind of bumpy and then kind of getting into your week. What do you feel like was kind of those turning points for you? I know you said you went for a walk. That was one thing, but kind of just going from a bumpy week, moving into okay week, and into like a ending off your week well. What do you think was kind of those turning points?
Honestly, just having the awareness that my week was just starting off crappy or something like that. And how I like dealing with that. I like, okay, I'm not feeling my best. It's like I like getting out. I can't stay in my house. I can't stay in my room. I gotta get out. And then just bond with myself. So I'd either go to the mall by myself, or like in this case, I went on a walk in a park by myself, had some time to reflect. I tried not to touch my phone that often, and then that slowly started rotating my week, or the energy, the vibration of the week, turning into a very peaceful and mellow, and like I said, steady. And then doing more this weekend. I spending time with the people I love. So that kind of like was a
Tighten
perfect
things
way
up.
to end it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that time alone was crucial. Yeah.
I think that's definitely a big part of just, I mean, we speaking of awareness, so I definitely think that's just a big part of kind of switching those bad days out, like I know we spoke of it before, like just because you have a bad moment, it doesn't have to necessarily be a bad day. But I mean, we all have those, days that's kind of just not 100%. Like I'm not just ready to go all day.
Right.
Um, but I think kind of being aware and kind of even you just stepping out, like I need to go take a walk and clear my mind. Like I think that's really important. But even me, I kind of started my week off. I had a pretty beginning of the week was hectic. I guess my word for the week is why not me? And well, I mean that's more than one word, but that's kind of my little phrase for the week. But starting off the week, I was kind of in a little bit of a mood, I guess you could say. Um, just kind of carrying over just a lot of things going on, right? Trying to, like you said, working, kind of just trying to get things flowing back, the way that I want them to be. But then moving into the week, uh, I just started doing stuff, like doing things for me personally. I have been working out. I started working out again, and just that alone, just getting up, starting my day off, um, and then letting those that energy more so that dopamine kind of just carried me through my day. And then I actually and the reason I say why not me, I had a conversation with somebody earlier, and we were just talking about, celebrities and things like that, and just kind of the way that they live. And it came up in conversation like, but why can't that be me, or why can't that be you? And that really sat with me, just as far as like how I was at the beginning of the week, not really feeling it, and then kind of starting to like look at myself, like just taking a look in the mirror, like you know who you are, like why not me? Like why can't it be? Why can't it be you? Why can't it be me? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for my week.
So how would you say your week ended coming to the towards the end of this weekend?
I think it was good. Like overall, I'll say I had a good week. It like you kind of like you were saying, like Wednesday, Thursday, I kind of started to make that turn into more of like a I'm okay, like I can get through this week, I'll be good. Um, but then today was a little hectic. Just kind of a lot going on, but I definitely like sitting down now and kind of like having this discussion. I feel, I guess, accomplished when I kind of do, when I get a lot done. I feel like I got a lot done today, so that was definitely a, a plus to cap off my weekend, or to cap off my week, honestly. Um, I know we wanted to get into more into mental awareness. So just kind of looking at, both of us kind of starting off with bumpy weeks, or and then moving into solid weeks. How do you think that, is that something that you've always been able to do, or do you think that's something that is you're just starting to like be able to control, I would say?
That's a really good question. It's something that I've been able to control for a while now. I feel like it depends on your self-awareness. Like you basically you definitely have to like gain that sense of consciousness of, okay, my mood is changing. It's not like you're happy for like a long period of time, and I'm talking about like a span. I mean, that's possible, but your mood is going to constantly go up and down. It's not going to be steady. There's no way. It's too many things that's going to affect your mood or try to affect your mood and try to throw you off your course. So just knowing those minor little adjustments to my attitude is is crucial for me. So that's something I learned and picked up. That's something I'm still learning to really control and all of that. So, going, okay, I'm not feeling too well right now. I'm feeling upset. What and then finding what pissed you off, or what made you sad, or what made you feel the way you are, and then do something. You could do something instead of like depressing yourself, or like, how do I say it? Just like really like, okay, thinking about the current situation over and over and replaying it, knowing that that's not going to make anything better. I'd rather go out and treat myself. um a walk in the park is like a gift to myself, because I don't get a lot of alone time, especially now with so much going on. I barely get alone time, so that was definitely a treat for me, and that was well needed.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I know you spoke of just kind of um being able to like not sitting in that, like in those feelings and those emotions. And I feel like that is something that me as well that I'm practicing. I feel like it's a, I'm not gonna say it's a forever journey, because I feel like once you learn to actually control and become aware of like, I'm not having a good day, and be able to kind of change, like turn your day around. I think that that's something that it begins to become, I guess I could say, a part of who you are. Um, but I definitely think it's kind of always a work, something that's at work, right? Because you can have somebody, let's say somebody cuts you off, you might be able to snap back from that. But let's say you get into an argument with a loved one or something like that. That's something that might take you a little bit more time um, to kind of bounce back from. Um, so kind of just looking at that alone, um, I'm curious, how do you like like those things, because we speak of it now, but we kind of have, these are things, like I said, things that you kind of have to practice. Where do you think that kind of started for you, or where do you think you kind of really started to become more aware of just what's going on?
Wow, that's a really good question. There was this point in my life where I just totally lost it. Somebody just did something that is unthinkable, unspeakable, and the things I said after that, the things I did after that, I just did not like. So after that, I knew I wanted to make a huge difference. Like I need to get control of my emotions because and I've been digging into this guy named Joe Dispenza, and he talks about being the observer of your thoughts and everything. So I feel like that definitely plays some what's the word for it? Some
Plays
help
a
me out,
role.
help me. Yeah, some it plays a role in that. So but you know, I definitely lost my train of thought. This happens too often. What was
Yeah.
I saying? Help me out.
You start listening to Joe Dispenza. He kind of helped you to
Oh
get
yeah.
back.
Just being the observer of my own thoughts basically. And you know, I feel like emotions is something that you can pick up easily. When if you want to talk about that concept, because there's a whole nother side, we could talk about that another time. But like emotions, because I think we're talking about emotions right now. Um, and just really wanting to do better for myself. That's basically it. I I can't let other people have the power to control the way I react to. I knew that there's okay, I can't control what happens, but I can control how I feel. No, not how I feel, but how I react to things.
Right.
That's huge. You can control how you react, and it takes a lot of self-discipline, and it takes patience. That's one
A lot of
thing.
patience. Yeah.
Patience. Yeah.
I think something big that you said was just wanting to. I think that's something that goes over a lot of people's heads, and I don't like here. I really don't want that to go over anybody's heads. Like I think wanting to is the starting point to anything that you're doing. Like whether it be professional athlete, whether it be starting your own business, whether it be your relationships, your interactions with other people, I think that it all starts from wanting to. I feel like I can sit here and tell you all day, James, I didn't like what you said to me. And you need to change that. But if you don't feel that in yourself, it's like I'm talking to a wall, you know? And
Right.
it never really goes anywhere when it's just like, if you don't really want it, you know?
Yeah. It's a acknowledgement of it.
Yeah.
The huge acknowledgement. It's one thing to be like, damn, I was being an asshole to that guy, but to be like, okay, here's what's going on in the situation. This guy is not what I'm saying. English, James. This guy is not. Uh, fuck. This guy. You got me. This guy is like not saying what I want to hear right now, but let me just let him talk. Maybe he's having a bad day. I think it's just learning not to take things personal. That's one of the first steps of really gaining that,
Yeah.
taking those steps to that mental awareness.
I think that's big too, like taking things personally. And this kind of bring me back to something else that you said. First, let me start with I think all of our experiences shape who we are. So somebody might, do something to you, but just me personally, the way that I think, I like to see everybody as, a good person, right? Even though people have their ways, they may, do whatever, come out of character. They may stay in character and just they might not feel like a good person to you, but I think that everybody has different experience that just kind of shape who they are and shape, the way that they may react or the way that they may respond um, to certain things. But there was something that you said about, what did you say? There was something that you said about, um, the point of just reacting. I feel like reacting to other people and just not liking something that you said. And I feel like I personally have been in that situation as well, where it's like I might get heated in the moment and I say some things, and it's like afterwards, it's like, damn, I shouldn't have said that. But um, just speaking from my personal experience, even working on that and kind of having it in my mind, like this is something that I need to work on. I feel like it's still a continuous battle because every experience is different. So something that probably triggered you before it's not going to be said the same exact way, but it might trigger you again, which may cause, you know, a similar response as the first time, but in your head it's like, damn, again, I know I shouldn't have said that.
Right.
So yeah, I just think it's a continuous battle, and just kind of interact. I want to say relationships, but just interacting with people in general, whether it be somebody you just met on the street, somebody in the car next to you. I think it's important to kind of keep that in the back of our heads that we're all human, you know, we all have different kind of experiences that kind of make up who we are. But in those moments, for me personally, I know you said with your week, something that you had to do was just take a minute and go on a walk. How do you feel like, and that's kind of just separating yourself from whatever is here and what's going on now. How do you feel like kind of isolating yourself, or kind of like taking a step away from everything is, how do you, what kind of role do you think that plays in just the day-to-day?
I honestly feel like having that time alone allows you to get to know yourself better.
Mm.
And when you get to know yourself better, you understand what makes you happy, what pisses you off, what might offend you. It's just all of these extra factors. Like in that time of isolation, like I actually I told you about this a while ago, but I told you that I went like on this, I dated myself actually. Did I say it like that? I
Possibly.
basically I dated myself. Like I just wanted to focus on me only. I shut out a whole bunch of people, friends, family, and everything, and I just focused on myself. I, I did everything that was gonna benefit me, and then I spent a lot of like time like working on my mental and trying to get my head right. But honestly, like spending that time with yourself, talking to yourself, and getting to know what you do and don't like, because some people don't even know what they do or don't like until they like
That's a
yeah.
whole that's a
you know what
whole
I'm
like,
you know what I'm saying? So this is, I think it's crucial. I think everybody should at least try to make it in their best interest to fit. And like, and I'm not saying it's a difference from being alone with yourself. Uh, how do I say it? It's a difference from being alone. No. It's a difference from liking being alone and then enjoying your own company.
mm, totally.
Yeah. There you go. I had to put it in the right words. Yeah, enjoying your own company is different. Not a lot of people know how to enjoy their own company. People crave other people's attentions and presence. So once you master that skill, and like, okay, once you can go to the mall by yourself, I don't know a lot of people can go to the mall by themselves. But once you can like go to a restaurant or a movie by yourself, you're forced to be reckoned with. Like nobody can tell you anything. Your confidence is gonna be at 100.
I think that's something that a lot of people, well, I don't know, I feel like it's a peace. It's a certain type of peace, for me at least, that comes from just sitting, and even if it's not specifically doing, I don't think that's the right word, but even if it's not really like me doing something, I can just sit. Like I've gotten to a point where I can just sit, and I will turn on like nature sounds in the background to just let play, but where I can just sit and not look at my phone, not have to watch something, and just kind of be alone. And there's also those times where I just want to sit on my own and maybe watch a podcast or do something else, right? But just that time alone for me is very like soothing. And a lot of times, well, sometimes I get kind of sometimes I know it's looked at as kind of, why do you like being alone? But I think that, like I was saying, I think there's a certain type of peace that a lot of people don't have. So I think that once you understand, you understand. But I think some people don't understand that kind of, that form of self-love where I'm okay with sitting alone. And that doesn't mean that I feel like I'm alone or that, you know, my world is coming down. But sometimes, honestly, sometimes I feel better being by myself than in a crowded room. And some people, I know some people look at that and it's like, nah, something is wrong. Um, but again, that's not to say that I don't like to go out or I don't like to, be around other people. But I think that energy is something that I'm big on. So I think when the energy is right, the vibe is right, I can sit and, or I can be around other people. I can stand to be around other people. Um, but yeah, I think being alone is something that we all gotta, work more towards just becoming comfortable with, for real.
How would you show, or what are some of the things that you could do to become more comfortable with spending time alone with yourself? Time self bonding, how about that?
You gotta do it. I mean, you gotta do it, and it sounds like harsh, I guess you could say, but you gotta practice that time, even if it's just and when you say time alone, what I'm thinking is really just being able to sit and not have to do anything. I feel like if you're laying in your bed alone, but you're still on Instagram scrolling or on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, all this stuff, I feel like it's taking your mind off of your presence and you being here. So you're physically alone, but I feel like there's still some sort of, I don't know, there's still something flowing there. Go ahead.
I'd personally call it distractions.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
there's been many times where I'd have to delete Instagram off my phone so that way I can actually enjoy my time alone.
Yeah.
Because the way I view it is like, okay, even though I have nothing to do, I'm off. I don't have no work or anything, but I know I can do music or I can clean my room and then I have Instagram there. Instead of doing something productive, I'm gonna just stay in my bed all day. And it's like and it's like a common mistake that everybody does, and then nobody should like beat themselves up for it, but
No.
I definitely do. I beat myself up for it. So I'm like, there's things that you could be doing. Instead you want to scroll through Instagram. It's a waste of my time. Yeah, I got better things to be doing.
I feel like it's also important though, and I feel like me and you definitely move kind of on a similar type of work ethic where it's like we have to go, go, go. Like you said, if I'm not doing something, I feel like I'm being lazy. Like I feel like I'm missing something, something needs to be getting done, or I'm just like wasting time, effort, ability, whatever it may be. I just feel like something is being wasted. If I'm sitting here just scrolling and laying watching TV and stuff is being wasted. And this is crazy. Like last year, right? So I turned 21 last year, and I was kind of at a point where it's like I'm not where I want to be in life. And that sounds ridiculous to people that are older, right? The older generations and stuff. Like you're 20, you're 21 years old. Like you have a whole life to live, whatever, whatever. But to me, it's like I have so many things in my mind that I want to do, so many things that I need to get done. It's like I'm wasting time right now. So for my birthday, I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. And my family and stuff is just like, yo, you're bugging. Like you're turning 21. This is like a milestone, and this is a time to just celebrate what you have done. Even if it's not necessarily, helping you get towards, where you want to be. It's just celebrating what you have done, the progress that you have made. And I really do. After that, I kind of started to put more thought to it and just kind of give myself that time to relax. Like it's okay to take a break. It's okay to, you know, rest sometimes. And that's something that I'm literally to this day still working on. But it's like it's important because after I do have those days where I may sit and do nothing, I may like just for the, but and honestly, it's days that I have to plan. Like today, I'm not doing anything. I'm not working. I'm not looking at my laptop. I'm not opening emails. I'm not answering phone calls. Like this is a me day. And that could be me just sitting doing whatever. Literally the other day, I went and got a pedicure because I'm like, yo, I just need to take a day to just love on myself a little bit. And I think that's something that us workaholics that we really kind of overlook.
I definitely agree. And I kind of feel guilty. Like it's one thing from giving yourself the break to saying, okay, I'm not doing anything today or tomorrow, and I'm just gonna, do a self-care day. But if there's some like a regular day and you're like, oh, I have extra time, and then you spend that extra time just wasting it, you just feel extra guilty. Or is that just me? Like
No,
extra.
I feel that too, but I want to ask you because I don't know. But would you know kind of like why that is? And this could happen. Honestly, this could happen. I could have had a whole day, a whole productive day, and then I may get an hour of downtime, and I might got something else to do later. But I get an hour of downtime, and I'm like, no, I need to do something else. Like something else needs to get done right now. Why do you think that is, or where do you think that kind of comes from?
I think is drive. At least for me, like if I know I have an extra hour of downtime, I know I could be making music. I could be writing something, or if I'm home, I could be fixing up, like I could be fixing up a song. But it's just like that. It's something. How do I say it? It's really hard to explain.
It's just
Repeat the
that
question.
fire. I feel like it's just that
It's
fire
just
that's just
it's
like,
just that drive that just.
yeah.
Oh, it's actually. Hold on. I have a piece from a book. Actually, can I read you something?
Yes.
Oh my God. Actually, yes, this is perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect. I gotta find it.
We can actually
The
segue into our next segment.
reading of the day.
Yeah, our daily dose of reading. We'll
Okay,
start off with you.
here it is. I got it. So this is a piece from 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. And then this is chapter 2. So listening to your heart. I'm gonna actually just skip ahead. It says, your left brain calculates, figures things out, analyzes, and comes up with the most logical choices for you. It thinks, thinks, thinks. Your right brain represents the intuitive side. This is the part of you that goes beyond reason and analysis. It's the part of you that feels things, that's sensitive to love, that's emotional about what's important to you. Your right side of the brain allows you to tear up as you hold babies or bask in the beauty of a glorious day. I'm going to skip over to the next section. Listening to your right brain, right? There's an intuitive, invisible presence that's always with you. I picture this presence as a nagging little creature who sits on your right shoulder and reminds you when you've lost your sense of purpose. This is where we were just talking about. All right, this little fellow is your own death, urging you to get on with what you showed up here for because you only have so many days to get it done. And then your body will be departing from this visit. Your invisible companion will prod you uh, when you're spending another day doing what somebody else has dictated if it's not a part of your passion in life. You'll most likely always know when you're off purpose because of your thoughts of frustration. And that I'm gonna just leave it right there. But yeah, I like the way they said it, or the way he put it. He said it's like this little creature who nags you, and it's your own death. It's that guilt saying, "Yo, you got better things to be doing. You got goals to meet. You got goals to like. You got dreams to chase, or you got things to get accomplished. You got no time to be wasting. Even though, yeah, you do have that extra time. It goes back to back when you're in middle school or in school in general, and the teacher says use your time wisely.
Yeah,
That I think that's one of those things that just goes way over all the kids' heads.
I agree. I definitely think and that even that alone, just kind of that, because that's even I see that as even as a bigger thing. And still on this topic, but just knowing that one day is going to be your day. Like you're not going to be here someday, and just that feeling of, like I was saying before, it's so many things that it's like in my head that I need to get done. And like you were saying, just that guilt of like, if I can't do these things before my day comes, it's like I ain't gonna be here. But it's just that feeling of, damn, like I let people down, I let myself down, I let generations down that's gonna, reap the benefits. So yeah, I think yeah, that's a big one. Um,
That is it. Do you have anything to read or
Yes, I do. Um, so I had a couple quotes actually from the book The Power of Now. I don't have the book with me, but I do have a couple of quotes.
okay.
Um, so kind of, this is a small one, but I feel like it kind of relates to what we were just saying. It's not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living. Um, and just kind of relating that to what we were just talking about. Um, I could say me, I feel like before before the pandemic, I feel like I was wasting a lot of time. I feel like the pandemic is really that thing that the kind of switched the light on for me. That was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You have I honestly feel that we all have something. We all have something to give, something to offer, something inside of us that somebody else can and would benefit from if you just put it into works. Um, so just that some people spend their whole life waiting to start living. Some people don't, like, never realize that they're not really living life. You know, they're alive, but they're not really living. And I feel like that kind of relates back to what we were saying of just, you know, when that time comes, did you really live the life that you were supposed to live? Did you really, you know, live a fulfilled life? And I think that there's so many things that play into that. But I think that is something that's often overlooked, and just the real journey of life, and how like deep and how beautiful life can really be if we really just step into being here. Like it's like I honestly feel like sometimes we could be like robots. Like we just kind of just do, and we never really even realize that we're living a life, you know, like we're living a real life that's unique to me, and nobody else can live this life that I'm living. But if you never really take that minute to just like, I'm here, like I can feel this table, I can feel this wall, like I can feel my face. I'm this is a real life that I'm living. And in my head I'm thinking about it, and I feel like it's so deep. Like just life in general, I feel like it's so deep because, like I was saying, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people never really snap into reality that this is a life that I'm living that I have the ability to control. And I think we kind of just float and go through the motions a lot of the time. Um, but yeah. Um,
I like that quote. That quote.
yeah.
I got some power behind that.
Um,
I like what you were saying regarding to the just basically it's a constant cycle for a lot of people. But
yeah,
I don't here's one thing I don't think you can control your life of having a cycle. Everything is based off schedule.
I agree.
That's the one thing. But what you choose to do with your schedule is crucial. You can so me, I replace 30 minutes of Instagram with 30 minutes of meditation.
Mm.
That there alone, it definitely has a positive effect on everything mentally, you know. So that schedule, you can control your schedule. Once you know what's good and what's bad for you, for your diet, that's what I like calling it.
And diet can be anything. Let's just throw that out there. Diet is not just what you physically eat. Diet is anything that I feel like anything that you're just consuming, whether it be what you're listening to, what you're watching, uh, how you're going about your day to day, like you're saying, just your schedule overall. I think all of that is just your diet. But yeah, there was something that you said, um, that sparked a thought, and it's gone. So yeah, we're gonna move on. Um, I think it was a good one though, so I kind of want to think about it. Um, Man. Okay. Meditation. How do you think? So I think meditation plays a big role in awareness. I'm not sure how deep you've gotten into it. But kind of like what I was saying before, I can feel this table, I can feel that wall, I can feel my face. I feel like all of those are things that just kind of come with presence. But for you, what are some things that because meditation, when a lot of people think about meditation, they think of sitting, legs crossed, hands together, humming, whatever. But what do you think are some things that, or some resources or ways that people could start to get into meditation, and kind of how has that been, or what was that experience like for you?
So I'm not too deep. I'm still like, getting in that flow of things.
Uh-huh.
But something that to help people is guided meditations. Guided meditations has helped me really start into that. And then they'll teach you how to breathe and all of that. But when I meditate by myself, I how do I say it? I allow my thoughts to flow, because the average person has about like what 60,000 thoughts per day. And then I heard just having like 30 minutes of meditation, and letting that amount of thoughts, however much you think, it clears up your mind. It helps you be less anxious. It's a stress reducer, because instead of thinking about all this mumbo jumbo while you're like probably at work, and then you're probably getting distracted by your thoughts, you could just take this 30 minutes, think about whatever. And I think the key is just being able to think without judgment. And that kind of goes back to, you're the observer of your thoughts. um think If you think about something and you don't like it, you have to realize that you're not that thought. Your
Yeah.
mind is you're the sky, but the clouds doesn't define you.
Hmm.
The clouds are just the
Yeah.
thoughts that going by. The clouds doesn't define the sky at all.
Right.
The sky is still blue. It's just the clouds is making it white. Those clouds is just the thoughts. But you got to let them flow and flow. And if it's something that adds a value to you, what I've done after I meditate and I figure, okay, this has value to me, I'd write it down. But if it's nothing that I should entertain, I'm just okay. But I don't judge myself based off that thought. If it was stupid, if it, I don't know what's I don't I don't know how to really say it, but you can have some type of fucked up like thought that you can think some fucked up type of shit. But knowing, okay, that's just a thought and that's only a thought and I'm not going to act upon it, like that's where people get it confused. Okay, I thought it, so I must be this crazy person, or I must be, or it doesn't matter. Like I'm thinking sad thoughts, I must be depressed. No, that's not always the case,
Yeah.
you know. But I think that's something I would recommend people, just allowing your thoughts to just flow naturally without judgment. Try not to judge yourself, and you'll learn a lot more about yourself, and then you'll gain a lot more love for yourself as well as a bond.
For sure. I think the point that you made to not judge yourself, I think that's really big when it comes to meditation. I have um gotten into meditation a little bit deeper, I would say. I'm not to the point where I can, completely tune everything out. Because our thoughts run. They definitely just run. I think you said like 60,000 thoughts a day. So it's no way to really shut your thoughts off, because they come. And if you guys do look into guided meditation, a lot of them, they speak of letting your thoughts come to you as they do. Um, because you can't really control a thought popping into your head, but what you were saying, you can control the way that you respond to a thought. So me personally, when I think of meditation, I just think of being one and being present with your thoughts. Um, and kind of just what that looks like to me is kind of like what you were saying, is not judging those thoughts. I think that's very important. I think that's something that we do a lot. And our thoughts don't define us as well. kind of like what you were saying. I think when those thoughts come, I think when we judge our thoughts, we allow them to define us, and I think those are two different things. I feel like, and I'll break it down a little bit. I feel like judging your thoughts is, I had a thought, and now I'm going to spend 10 more minutes thinking about how dumb that was for me to think that thing. Instead of just, okay, I thought this thing, it is what it is, and let's move on. I also know that, I know we were kind of talking about controlling our thoughts a little bit. So just being able to take a step back and create a new narrative for that thought. So let's say you're thinking, this food that I cooked was so terrible. Next time, instead of thinking that and spending 10 minutes on this food, I'm going to think, okay, next time I cook, I'm going to try to add a little bit something more to it. And that now in that way, we're rebuilding that thought, because if you think something, I believe that we think in patterns, right? So if you think something now, I definitely believe that that thought is going to come back again. It may be in a different way, it may be different wording, but that thought is going to come back again. But once you start to kind of rebuild that thought and kind of just think, or start to talk to you, and I feel like this is also awareness, but start to talk to yourself a little bit differently. Next time, I'm just going to do better. So that way you're not really shitting on yourself, but you're still, you know, you're putting more light on that dark spot that you're not looking at. As well as, those thoughts don't define you. So even if you are thinking those things, like you said, I'm not crazy because I think this is just a thought that ran through my head, right? This is just something that popped into my mind, but that doesn't have to define who I am. That doesn't have to be the end all be all of what's going on here, you know?
Right. 100%. Like you were saying something. I lost it. It's gone. It's gone.
It happens here. I gotta get used to that one.
Yeah, I gotta get used to it.
Yeah.
My mind just be flowing a million miles per hour. I just can't. It's so much good stuff to say.
I know we were speaking of meditation. I kind of want to touch on that a little bit more. I feel like meditation is what I was saying about the presence and just being here, being able to touch everything around me and kind of feel everything around me. I feel like meditation is something that's definitely made me more aware of that and has been able to slow my thoughts down. I think that thoughts run through our mind all day. Like there's no like halting all of our thoughts. But I definitely think if you really dive into meditation, it kind of gets you to a point of just being present, right? So allow those thoughts to run through your mind. Don't judge the thoughts. Don't allow the thoughts to define who you are. But then there's also that thing of, you know, slowing those thoughts down a little bit. And I feel like we're so everywhere else. That's why we think so much. We're on our phone, or even if we're not physically on our phones, we're thinking about Instagram, or we're thinking about work, or we're thinking about a conversation that we had. It's hard for us to kind of just sit here, and I can see you, I can see my laptop, I can feel my hands, I can feel my feet, like I can taste the food that I just ate. Like all of those things are just a part of being present. And I think that's what meditation really is. It's kind of grounded in. It's just being overall present in the moment and not trying not to think those thoughts so much or as much. And just kind of allowing them to slow down a little bit. But just kind of hitting on that, how do you think that, because I feel like social media is definitely something that kind of forces us to speed up a little bit in a lot of different ways. I feel like we see social media and things like that, and they kind of, you want to live the life of of this person, or you want to have what they have, or do these things. How do you think that, what kind of role do you think that social media plays, I guess, on your mental health and just kind of how we go about our day to day and on that kind of scale.
I kind of want to bring it back to that diet thing that you were talking about. What you're consuming, not only orally but mentally. What are you hearing, like what are you being exposed to? Social media definitely has a huge impact on the way you think. um for example, at some point in life, we about to we about to tone it up. It's about to get
Talk to
interesting.
me.
Yeah, at some point in my life, I found out, like, I really like Instagram models, butt cheeks everywhere, blah blah blah. But like, you know, but that was just it got to a point where I was just tired of like that lust, or that okay, like I gotta see this, I gotta, or the excitement over something so visual. So I took it upon myself to literally unfollow every single Instagram model. I don't follow any Instagram models. I don't follow any girls that expose skin or anything, because you know if I see that, then that's gonna want me to want to stay on Instagram longer, and that goes for anything. That goes for regular content. If you see a funny video, obviously you want but I feel like it depends on what's in that video and what you're actually consuming. But I feel like people should definitely replace at least 15 minutes, 30 minutes of social media. Social media is like drama filled. Well, we'll get back to that in a minute. But like if you replace that with like a podcast of something that can really nurture your brain, you're gonna think a lot differently. You're gonna feel a lot differently. But going back to stuff that's on social media, there's so much drama. You see what's going on with Kanye, and probably you. I don't know if you've been, but like I'm tired of seeing Kanye on my Instagram
Yeah.
feed. Like it's so much drama, and then it's something to feed into. So you see some drama on Instagram, the first 5-10 minutes you wake up, then how's your mindset gonna be for the rest of the day? You're gonna want to be in everybody else's tea. You're gonna be wanting to gossip, and then when you get to work or when you get to school, oh, you heard what happened? That just plays.
That's what everybody is talking about. So how do you kind of control, and like even just you saying that, I know I know Kanye is a whole different topic that I would love to get into, but we won't do that today. But I think that like how do you kind of maneuver that when it's like kind of like what you were just saying? Have you seen the stuff about Kanye or going to school and everybody is talking about it, but now it's like that, like social media is kind of our news, for our generation. It's like, this is where I go to find out our news. So it's like when you are taking those breaks from social media, or when you're not on social media as much, it's kind of also that kind of spot of like, dang, I'm actually missing
I
out
miss
on.
so much.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like a here and there. I definitely think there should be a limit to at least how much time you're spending. I think once you get to that point, and for the most part, I'm not gonna lie, I follow the shade room, and that's where most of the news comes from. If there's anything really going on, that's where it's coming from, and that's the first thing that pops up. So I feel like once you scroll past that, you scrolling for 10 minutes, now you just seeing anything, any and everything. And I think
Yeah.
setting those limits, I got to a point where I had to literally set limits on Instagram. Like they have settings where you can set limits on how long you're able to use social media for the day. And
Wow.
once that happens, that cutoff, it'll turn the page off. You can click to continue scrolling or doing whatever, but it'll give you that notification, hey, you've been on Instagram this long for the day, it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah. Wow. That's useful. I think I need to
Yeah.
do that. But I honestly want to say, maybe this might go off topic, but I think Instagram like made it a way for you to be trapped on Instagram.
The
I'm gonna just
algorithm.
I'm gonna just go to Instagram real fast and just show you. Basically, you go to Instagram, right? If you click on any video, if you go to any video, look, if I go back to, this is the home, right? This is my home page. You click on it. If you keep
Everything after
scrolling,
that,
there's more
stuff that you want
videos.
to watch.
there's still more videos still scrolling, and that's not even on your home page. It's like an automatic discover, and you don't realize it. You just, your body's programmed to just keep scrolling and scrolling. It's it's ridiculous.
It literally is not, and I don't want to call it a trap, but it is. Like it literally, it is. Like they literally have algorithms where it's like, I know what you normally look up. I know what you, and it's kind of weird to me that sometimes I can talk about something and it'll show up on my news feed, or it'll show up like, it'll just show up.
Your microphone's tapped.
Yeah,
Google be listening.
something is going on, but it's like whatever you want to see, that's what they're going to see. So even once, you know, you click that first video and then it's a bunch of videos under that, for me, is food videos or workout videos or podcasts or like something motivational. Those are the kind of things that they know you want to see it. So I'm just going to keep showing it to you. You're not going to get tired of it because this is what you like to see. But yeah, you definitely can go down a rabbit hole with.
This a whole rabbit hole. Yeah, insane.
I kind of wanted to touch on a point that you made about the Instagram models. First off, I just want to commend you for even being able to go and like delete them, because I think that that's something that a lot of people is like, all right, I know I do. First off, even realizing it,
it's the acknowledgement,
yeah, the acknowledgement that I'm doing this and it's probably not the best for me. So yeah, definitely kudos for that. And then moving into, how do you think, and this, I'm not going to take it too far, but how do you think that, I want to say, played a role in maybe your life personally, maybe different aspects of your life, or maybe looking for, or relationships or other things like that?
Oh, huge role. And this isn't something I've done recently. I've done this like probably like a year ago, or yeah, a year ago, when I was, you know, starting my self journey, my self-care journey, my self-awareness journey, and all of that. And, you know, being a young man with hormones, you know, going through puberty in high school and all of this other stuff, and you know, you just always like want to see more and more and more. So, and then you can get. I'll speak for the guys. Like, hopefully, I'm not exposing the guys, but like, once the guys get around, yeah, you seen this girl? Yeah, she got the, you know, she got the back. Yeah, we all talk. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna. We all talk like that. So, but it's just like I said, it's that lust. You know, you see it on your Instagram feed, you're gonna want more of it and more of it and more of it, and like, or you're probably just gonna spend a good 5 minutes on this model's page. Like, why am I on this? Why am I glorifying this one? This, you know, but it definitely played a huge role because I found myself drifting further away from lust. Like, it definitely works. You know, I can look at women now. I'm like, oh, she got a nice body, and then just keep it pushing. I don't just like obsess about it, like, you know, a lot of men do nowadays, or how they always have. You know, just put all of their attention into that. I think that's just, you worry about the wrong things.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanna worry about the money, not the.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It definitely played a huge role. Honestly, one of the best decisions I made. Definitely, my maturity level went up so high. Just getting rid of that one thing alone on Instagram.
And that's big. Like when because I know what it's like. I understand, like, just being caught up in, just so caught up in something that's just like, it's consuming you in a way, you know. And just being able to, again, back to that awareness of just being able to kind of separate yourself from whatever it is. If it's, it can be anything, and not even just Instagram models. It can literally be anything that just consumes you in a way that when this pops up, or when this happens, or when this comes up in conversation, it's like everything else kind of just dims away, or everything else kind of just turns off. And now all my attention is focusing here. But just being able to kind of, regroup and just kind of pull yourself back to that center point again, the awareness, the presence, it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for you before we wrap things up. Um, if it's one thing that you would encourage the listener, the audience to take away from this podcast, our first podcast, yeah,
Yeah. Making it happen.
yeah. If it's one thing that you can encourage the audience to take away, what is that?
I want to say the piece of being able to be okay with being alone. I think that well, not even I think, we all come into this world alone. If you got twins or triplets, whatever, but for the most part, we all coming into this world alone. And for the most part, we all going out alone as well. And your day to day is alone. Nobody is in your head with your thoughts. Nobody can, you can talk to people all day about how you're feeling, but it's always certain things that nobody can really hear, or nobody can really understand to the fullest depth that you can, because it's your thoughts, it's your life. So I think really getting to a point where you're okay with just being alone, and you're okay with being okay with you, I think is big. I think that there's a lot of different things that go on a day to day that can, for some of us, have us questioning certain things about ourselves, or whatever the case may be. And I feel like, in a way, that some of those things are it's a part of the journey of life. But I also think that it's important to be able to get to a point where you can just, whatever it is, you can be okay with it. Because this is me, this is who I am. So it's either accept it or hate yourself for it. But it's like, which one feels better? It's not, if it's something that you can't, control or change, then accept it. Accept it for what it is, accept it for how it is, and what it's going to be. And I think once we can, kind of begin to do that and chip away at it. And like I said, it's a journey. It's things about me to this day that I'm like, I'm still working on. Things that, I want to improve on, whatever. But just knowing that and being aware of those things, and still loving me for my good and my bad, I think is kind of that biggest takeaway. Like, just be okay with you. So yeah.
I wanna add something to that too.
Go for it.
You were basically saying you came in alone, you leave alone. So I actually saw this post on Instagram. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, look at this. We're already on social media after saying stay off of social media. Hey, don't judge. Hold on. Here it says. One second.
Mm-hmm.
It says the relationship you have with yourself is the most complicated because you can't walk away from you. You have to forgive every mistake. You have to deal with every flaw. You have to find a way to love you even when you're disgusted with you. And I feel like that relationship with yourself is way more important than caring about what others may think of you.
Way
It's not worth it. Like a lot of people, I think that's just society in general. Um, you just care too much about what the next person thinks, it's understandable. It's, how do I say it? It's it's not your fault. I feel like we're all conditioned this way, but when you choose to wake up, you choose to wake up. You feel me? You can control that. Um, but nobody else's opinion matters, because you have the relationship with yourself. You know the beauty and the self-value that you have within yourself. So you shouldn't let anybody else's words affect you.
I just want to add to that, and I'll keep it brief. But I think that we say it all the time that it doesn't matter what other people say about us, but like you said, it's a part of our nature. Like we're conditioned this way to just think about what somebody else is going to think or have to say about, this or that. Um, but it's like sometimes it be stuff that's like, and I do it myself. It's like I can be going into the grocery store and I might just look I might just I don't even say look. Sometimes, and I'm speaking from experience, me personally. Sometimes I have like these moments where I just like I act a little bit wild and not like ridiculous, but I may do something like goofy or something. It'd be like, dang, like I see them looking at me, but then it's like, yo, I'm never going to see this person ever again in my life. They're probably never going to see me again, So then it's like, that's something that I try to keep in the back of my mind when I start to get that feeling of like people are looking or whatever the case is, just like, this person does not know you. But then I do also understand that sometimes there is that other side of like, dang, these people do know me. um and I think that's kind of where that self-love piece comes in, of just like, this is who I am. It's like, take it or leave it. I don't want to hide who I am because you don't necessarily agree with it, right? You have your own life to live, so if you don't want to do what I'm doing, that's fine, don't do it. But this is me and this is who I want to be, and this is how I choose to go about my life. So yeah, just learn to love yourself. Flaws, messy hair, wake up, morning breath, like just love it for what it is. Like it's you, is you at the end of the day. So yeah, just love yours.
Law of attraction, you know. Law of attraction. Those who are meant to be in your life will effortlessly find you. Anything that is meant to be in your life will effortlessly find you. So at the end of the day, just focus on yourself and you should be all right. 100%.
Yeah, we gonna wrap it up for today, but we definitely gonna have to have another conversation on, that's gonna have to be one of our episodes of just law of attraction and letting life be what it is, and anything that you need around you, it's gonna find you. Like I could just speak for our me and your relationship. Like where did this like if and again, this is gonna be a whole different episode, but just kind of the way that things kicked off for us two is like, still to this day I look at it like, how
Wow,
the law of
it's
attraction,
sick.
like it's just how things happen. It's just how the cookie crumbles. And I know, and I promise this is my last point. I know what you were saying earlier about of course what you were saying earlier about schedule. Everything
Everything
happens
is,
when it's
yeah.
supposed to happen, exactly how it's supposed to happen. And sometimes we get kind of caught up in what's happening now. Like it doesn't look right, it doesn't feel right, but it's like, man, you just gotta you just gotta go with the flow of things sometimes
Hmm.
and just let it be what it is.
Yeah. That,
Yeah,
yeah. That's an excellent point. Wow. Well,
this was good.
we go we gonna wrap it up. We gonna wrap it
Yeah,
up. This is I honestly say this is a successful episode one.
for sure, for sure.
100%. All right. Uh Big thank you to everybody who watched this whole thing. If you guys are intrigued, if you guys want to put down your input down below, let us know what you think. Show us some of your points, give us your perspective on things. If you want us to talk about anything specifically, let us know. Um, with that being said, I'm James,
I'm Chantel.
and this has been Broad Horizon.